in the most powerful city in the world. It's time for the Guy Benson Show Happy Hour, brought to you by the Finnish Long Drink. Finland's most popular alcoholic beverage has come to America. Visit thelongdrink.com. And now, here's your host, Guy Benson.
Time for the Happy Hour here on the Guy Benson Show, Friday edition. So glad you're here. GuyBensonShow.com, our website. The podcast is always free when the program is over, plus bonus Benson on the weekends as well. Don't forget about that. GuyBensonShow.com, FoxNewsPodcast.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. And tune in to the big weekend show tomorrow and Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Fox News Channel. I'll be one of the co-hosts on that show both evenings. Here on the radio, this hour, sponsored by the Finnish Long Drink. So good. It's so hot in New York, so an ice-cold long drink, that might be necessary sometime this weekend. TheLongDrink.com. Always drink responsibly. 21 plus only. That's TheLongDrink.com. Joining us now, here in studio at the worldwide headquarters of Fox News Channel in New York, it's Kennedy, host of Kennedy Saves the World, the podcast. You see her all the time across our programming. You can follow her on social media at Kennedy Nation. She is our very own cultural icon.
Guy.
It is very good to see you.
Wonderful to see you as well. I love a little bonus Benson in my life.
Absolutely.
We saw each other last night on the Gutfeld show,
Sure, right.
and I worry sometimes people think that there's a rodent being strangled when you're on, because I'm off camera squealing when you make certain references, because your comebacks are so quick, they catch me off guard, and air escapes forcefully in delight for me, but it sounds like something is being tortured.
Although I think the best line of the whole show last night was yours, and it was a very quick comeback. It was your OJ line. Because Greg said, I forget who he was even talking about.
He's like,
he's saying
he
someone
goes,
should.
Joe Biden, because Joe Biden's memoir sold for a lot less than Obama's or Clinton's. And he said, Joe Biden should do what OJ did.
And you jump in and you said,
what, murder his wife?
and you're like, Greg, how could you? It was perfect. It was so good. All right, so I want to talk about last night a little bit, because I found out maybe half an hour before the show. I texted you. Mm-hmm. I said, wait a second, because they send the list much earlier in the day of who's going to be on the show. So I saw Greg was hosting. I saw there was a comedian who's off and on. I've been on with him before. I saw that you were on. Then a name that I didn't really recognize, but it didn't occur to me to Google it. I was busy. So then I was changing at the hotel, getting ready for the show, and I just decided to double check, who is this person? Did the quick Google, and I texted you like, excuse me, are we on tonight with Lady Gaga's father? And you're like, that's right.
Yeah.
And he's been on your podcast.
Yes.
Because then I started going down the rabbit hole a little bit. So Lady Gaga's dad is a Fox fan and a bit of a winger, and we love it. And he's a small business owner here in New York. He's concerned about bad policy. He's very concerned about who might be the next mayor. They've got an Italian restaurant, a Sicilian restaurant.
It's wonderful. I've been there.
I'm going to be there soon because he invited me. We're now buddies. We're like texting.
Great.
So here's Lady Gaga's dad. So I was not expecting this at all. And then I had to sort of change, I had to change my mentality going into the show, because I didn't want to just sit there for an hour on television with one of the most famous pop stars of all time, her father, on set with us and not somehow make a reference to it. So I decided that what I was going to do was, over the course of the entire hour, without drawing any attention to it, I was going to insert song titles of Lady Gaga into every answer that I gave. I ended up doing 8 of them over the hour. Here's a quick mashup from Dylan, who put it together, cut 36.
In high school, he was voted most likely to still look like he's in high school. Host of the Guy Benson Show, Guy Benson. He still has to tell Lady Gaga to clean her room.
I don't remember the bouts of cheerfulness. Maybe she has a really good poker face on that one, all because of that Judas George Clooney. She must think he is a monster. Because like this scorned lover, abracadabra, here he is. They live for the applause and not for the laughs. Just sing, just dance, just joke.
Those people wouldn't have applauded if they weren't told to.
Applause.
I have no interest in her bad romance debacles. You finally caught on to it.
I couldn't help myself.
And started singing, which was hilarious. He knew, her dad knew, because, and by the way, the name of the restaurant is Joanne Trattoria.
Yes.
So I will report back once I've been there. I'll give a restaurant review, but he could not have been nicer. He was a little nervous, which makes sense.
And it was adorable.
Lovely and so gracious and really nice behind the scenes. And they run this restaurant and they serve apparently really good Sicilian food and they blast Lady Gaga music in the restaurant.
Sometimes they have drag queens. Sometimes they have new artists, like an emerging artist
There's
stage.
a Billy Joel tribute tonight I saw,
Yeah.
So I'm missing that. That's a big swing and a miss by me.
Well, we're going to the Yankees, so.
That is correct. So hopefully not so many swings and misses by our Yankees who need some wins. Let's not talk about them. I'm going to start getting frustrated. Anyway, you picked up on it, as I knew you would, because you know music very well. I had told him in advance that I was going to do it because I didn't want to make it seem like he would at some point cotton on, of course. I didn't want to make it seem like I was making fun of him at all or being disrespectful at all. It was an homage. It was like a series of Easter eggs for her fans as a wink at him, because we did not talk about Lady Gaga on the show at all.
Like how Taylor Swift lets her fans know she's really a lesbian.
Or some people read into crazy stuff.
Well, that's when they talk about her Easter eggs. That's what they talk about.
Right. So these Easter eggs were a little bit more prosaic. It's just, here are some songs of hers that I like, and I'm going to embed them into my answers on the show. I just wanted to let him know in advance, this is not meant to be at all making fun or disrespectful. And he was like, no, I love it. Go for it. You sang the applause line, which I like, and the audience was confused by it.
That's okay.
The host of the show admitted to me he missed every single one of my references. Every single one he missed. Greg was like, nope, sorry, missed it all.
Yeah.
But I had fun with it, and I felt also a little bit like...
Even Greg said Born This Way at some point. And I was like, oh, he's in on it.
No, he was not in on it. That was by accident, I think. That was an accidental reference. And I was like, oh, damn, that would have been good, but it was inadvertent. I felt like I had something of an obligation or duty also as a gay man to do that in honor of Gaga. Yes. I'm a Gaga fan. I've seen her in concert.
I think she's incredible.
Her music is really good. I don't care about her politics at all. They have a loving family. They have disagreements. I
think she's a closet conservative.
Oh, I don't. I wish. I would love that to be true.
Don't you think she sits around and reads like Thomas Sowell? Is it Sowell or Sowell?
Sowell.
Sowell.
Thomas
I thought
Sowell.
It was once I said it, and I was like, that doesn't sound right.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Give me Thomas Sowell over Lady Gaga personally. But I love her music. I think she's a great. And she also, the thing about her is, it's not just the pop bangers that she puts out. Mm-hmm. Remember years ago at the Oscars when she did The Sound of Music? Because she's classically trained, yes. I think at Juilliard. And she sang a medley from The Sound of Music in a very classical voice. And I had to do a double take that it was her. She is extremely talented. So I just wanted to, on behalf of her fan base, which does often skew a certain way, I wanted to represent.
They skew conservative. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of Gutfeld fans.
I think there's a non-zero chance that she might actually see this video clip that I put it on my Instagram. I put it on my Twitter, Guy P. Benson, both places. You can go check it out. I think her dad, because I sent it to him, he loved it. Mm-hmm. I think he might show it to her.
Good.
Or maybe I'm just hoping. I don't know.
I think it's something you should obsess about all day long.
Maybe she'll slide into my DMs while we're at the Yankees game. Can you imagine? All right.
Would your marriage to Dreamboat be in trouble if Lady Gaga proposed to you over Instagram DM?
Oh, I mean, Adam might be cool with it. He's like, well, you just have to say yes.
Remember when I got you Lady Gaga champagne?
Yes. As a congratulations for something. It might have been for having our son. I forget what it was, but you did, and we drank it.
Yes, you did.
We sure did. We often drink your gifts, as a matter of fact. You bring very delicious gifts every time. Sometimes you then mix them together for us in person, like the Jenny Too Many here on the air all those years ago. We should probably talk about some real things. In fact, let's take a very quick break. Then I want to get some meaningful reflections from you as really a major representation of Gen X. It's been a tough week for America, Gen X specifically. We'll get to that right after this break on The Guy Benson Show.
Same issues, but with a fresh perspective. The Guy Benson Show.
Is with us here in studio on The Guy Benson Show. And Kennedy, you, in my mind, sort of are Gen X. And the country has lost 3 legends this week. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, so Malcolm Jamal Warner, those of us who grew up, because you were born in the 80s, right?
Yeah,
late
mid-80s.
80s? Okay. But watching must-see TV on NBC, that you lived for Family Ties and Cosby Show and Cheers. It was before Seinfeld. And we all felt like we were members of the Cosby family. Like everyone on that show meant so, so much. And, to hear, because it breaks my heart to see the number of suicides of famous people. So when I saw that he had passed, my heart sank, and I worried that that's what he had succumbed to.
That chef from the Food Network.
Ann Burrell.
Yeah.
So I've interviewed Ann Burrell here at Fox. I've seen her at a bunch of Rangers games, LGR, Let's Go Rangers. And she was a huge, huge Rangers fan. And happy, bubbly. I saw her on the street just a couple months ago. We're going into the subway. I was like, Ann. And she was just a delight.
Yeah.
And to hear that she had taken her own life, and to learn that Malcolm Jamal Warner had been with his family and got pulled out to sea in an aggressive rip current. His daughter thankfully survived, was pulled ashore onto a surfboard by a surfer. And, it's like, that was devastating. And then to learn about Ozzy, because he had his final concert just a few weeks
recently
ago. Jim Norton went to the show. And so, and I asked him about it, and he said, it was so emotional because everyone there loved Ozzy so much. And being there, we wanted to show him how much we loved him. And he understood that. And we knew it was the last time we would ever see him perform. And he was there with Maynard from Tool and James Hetfield from Metallica and Duff from Guns N' Roses. And they all came together and put aside any differences they might have had at some point in their lives for the sheer love of this man. And of course, we were hoping for more time. And, Ozzy lived a hard and fast life through many, many decades.
Yeah, getting to the late 70s actually was something of an achievement given the way that he lived a lot of his life.
Yes.
But then he took this big turn, the whole family, the reality show, which was huge when I was in college.
So that came to my VJ manager, Rod, when I was a VJ, moved into talent development at MTV. He was homesick one day, saw Jack and Kelly on Cribs and was like, man, I think we should put them on TV. I don't know, like there's got to be a show. So he met with Sharon, who was like the family manager. And after talking to her, he's like, your whole family needs to do a show. And so Rod went to their house, sat in their kitchen for 2 hours. Ozzy ignored him. The kids ignored him. The dog was pooping on the floor. And finally, Sharon comes down, introduces him to Ozzy. And Rod looks at Ozzy and goes, I've been in your kitchen with you for 2 hours. Didn't you wonder who I was? And Ozzy looks at him and goes, I don't care who the F you are. And so it was through that the Osbournes was born, and it made this rock legend a cultural legend.
Yes, for an entire new generation or two. And just Crazy Train, the opening of that song is iconic.
Yes.
Right? He's legendary. That song, like ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Yeah, you can't help but get fired up from that song. Yes. So I listened to that a few times this week after he passed away. And then, of course, Hulk Hogan, who was larger than life in every way.
Yes, big, vibrant, healthy, patriotic. It's like, and I remember Hulk Hogan, came into the zeitgeist at a time when America was awesome, because this was during the Reagan years. And, we hated the Soviets, and we just wanted America to triumph over everyone. We wanted Rocky to beat Ivan Drago in every form. And Hulk Hogan personified that. It was like this warrior, and just so funny. And then,
and ridiculous, but on purpose.
Yes. That's moved wrestling into a completely different echelon.
Like a stratosphere at that point.
Over the top, larger than life, performative, grabbing life by the horns. And he was just so iconic. And, Hulk Hogan and wrestling were married into one perfect blend for the rest of his life. And he had another act with his family reality show Hogan Knows Best. And that's where we learned about Brooke and his son Nick, who then later went to prison, and his ex-wife Linda.
Well, and taking down Gawker, which is another huge thing that he did in his life that was delightful with the assistance of Peter Thiel. But yeah, I mean, I remember I was never into pro wrestling. I, of course, was aware of him because you're an American. You have to be aware of him, right? That is who he is. He's that big. And I remember thinking at the RNC in Milwaukee last summer when he gave the speech, and he showed up looking pretty cleaned up on stage, and then off went the jacket, and he tears open his shirt. There's the Trump Vance sort of tank top underneath, and he's just screaming, and the place is going crazy. And it felt surreal to be a political convention, which are usually very serious, but it also felt fun and wild and energetic. The Republicans had so much more fun than the Democrats did this past summer, last year. And I was in real time thinking to myself, I'm so glad I'm here for this because this is crazy and cool.
It was an acknowledgement that politics had legitimately become professional wrestling, and professional wrestling is only fun when you give into it completely and stop going, well, that's fake. Well, that's fake. Well, politics is dumb. Politics is corrupt, which, yeah, sure, it is, but it's also over the top and performative. So let's just call it what it is.
Finally, Kennedy, I want to get your take in the next minute and a half on the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's show, way out into the future, by the way, and this almost psychotic reaction to it from the entire left, like this is a political witch hunt, authoritarian censorship campaign, losing $40 million a year. I mean, why is that hard? Do they understand it, but they're lying anyway to tell a story? Or
yes, because everything has to be politics. Everything has to be presented through the lens of victimhood. And they are somehow aggrieved because the person who was nagging and lecturing the country has been removed from his pulpit because it was supposed to be entertainment. It was supposed to be joyous and lighthearted and unplugging from the day. Instead, it was a reminder of division. And it's like, that's fine when you seek it out, but it's really not fun. And it's one of those things that people nominally will point to and say, yes, I support this without engaging in it at all. Because his ratings went down year after year after year, even though, like, of the network late night shows, he still had the number one show. He was getting trounced by Gutfeld. And, you can't continue to employ 200 people on one program when you're losing
$100 million a year was the budget, plus more than that every year for the show. There was hemorrhaging $40 million a year. It's not
Charlie
politics.
Gasparino said it was more than that. So he had a piece today in the New York Post about the merger with Skydance, and he was like, it's so much more than that. And if this merger had happened sooner, they would have canceled the show sooner. But it's just now and they put the pressure on Paramount to pull the plug because, it's like right now we're in an era of paring things down, of cost cutting.
Well, it wasn't sustainable. And that's the thing. It wasn't red politics. It was red ink. That was the problem at its core. And they can pretend otherwise all they want to. Kennedy, we've got to let you go. The reason that you're so good and you're such a talented professional is that you slipped in a Go Rangers reference in the context that I could not rebut it on my very own show.
Thank you, Guy.
Which I don't like, but I will now. Rangers suck, go Devils, and we're done.
All fan sucks.
We'll be back after this. See you at the game tonight, and we'll be right back.
You are the best thing on the radio!